Spyderco Knives was one of the first knife companies that I one-hand opening knives companies that developed that I was interested in. But way back in, well, I don't know, it's been a long time, over probably close to 15 years ago. In fact, I was working at a Starbucks serving coffee, and a guy that I worked with, we were tearing down some boxes, and he whipped out a fully serrated police model, stainless steel. I believe it was back then it was ATS 55 steel, and he just whipped that thing out, which was pretty impressive for at work knife. He wasn't afraid of doing that, but I was actually impressed by it. Wasn't really into knives at that point as far as the larger one hand opening knives. Never heard of Spyderco. He told me it was a Spyderco. Kind of just put that back in my mind and kind of went on my way. Left that job and kind of pursued a different career or a career at that point. And then I started getting into knives and started really getting into knives. And I remember, what was that knife company? So I went on Google and I put Spyder knives. I had no idea what it was. I couldn't remember. Found Spyderco and then just started collecting them and really enjoying Spyderco knives. And back in the day when they we had the Wagner knives, which are had the mouse and what was it, the Wagner Junior, which is an awesome knife, liner lock, and the Rookie, the black G10 Rookie, and a lot of cool knives that Spyderco put out. And I actually liked a lot of their smaller knives. And like I mentioned, the mouse was one that was small. You can Google that if you don't know what it is. Blade Tech is his company now. Tim Wagner, I think, is his name, and he produces his own mouse version. But he was a collaboration with Spyderco at the time, and it was an awesome little lockback knife. Also, the Holder, another custom knife maker, did a collaboration with his little toad knife, which is tiny. And that's what I like when Spyderco produces some little knives, as like you see here. This is a Leafstorm. This is one of my new knife purchases. I wanted to kind of get back to some of the smaller knives that Spyderco puts out. I'm eager to look at the Techno. I've seen the new one they have. That looks pretty sweet. Want to check that one out soon, hopefully, down the road a little bit. But got a good deal on this, so I wanted to pick this one up. Kevin Wilkins, I believe is his name. I'm familiar with him with some of his scales that on the mini Griptilian. That's one of the flaws I've heard on the Griptilians, where it's kind of the hollow feeling handle. But he has scales he put on those, and they're not cheap. They boost the price of the knife quite a bit. So I think he makes quality stuff, and I was always been kind of my eye on this knife. You can see the scale is G10. It's kind of that ghost jade G10, kind of a see-through almost looking. It looks like a solid piece, similar to the Strider knives, the SNGs, where they have that solid milled out piece of. I don't see a line there, but I could be wrong. Those of you who know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like one solid piece. It's solid titanium. The liner, the frame lock, or the Reeve integral lock, however you want to pronounce that, is very thin. It's almost like a liner lock. It's not beefy, but you don't really need on a knife this size. This is going to be a an everyday carry type of or a backup carry knife. It's got a hollow ground blade. Nice blade stock, nice thickness. Jimping is very functional, like most Spyderco knives, but a little different than what you normally see. No choil up here, so I've heard this on other videos. You got to be careful. If you're going to put your finger up here, you have a chance of definitely cutting yourself. So I think it was probably made for your hands to be back there, but your pinky's going to fall off a little bit. But not bad for a smaller knife. It's pretty pleased with the construction. Perfectly, pretty much perfect, maybe a tad off, but centered blade there. Very smooth. Pleased it has the phosphorus bronze washers on there. It's a little sticky. It's a little bit sticky on the lock bar when you disengage the lock bar. Put a little pencil lead on there. It's still a little sticky. I don't have a carbonizer, but I bet that would probably solve things if I would do that to the titanium there. But it's a pretty traditional Spyderco clip that they have on a lot of their knives. I haven't taken this apart, but I've heard it has the pivot bushing similar to the Chris Reeve knives, where you can tighten it all the way down. And I believe the Paramilitary 2 has the same thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it also has a pivot bushing in there. A little disappointed that Chris Reeve was going away with that. In fact, I encourage you guys, if you're thinking about purchasing a CRK, you might want to do so before they discontinue the 21, because the 25 will not have the pivot bushing in there. It'll be similar to the Umnumzan. But this is a nice knife. I'm glad I picked it up. It's a quality. It makes me want to get a few more Spydercos. Been practicing that. I like the as you can see, I just need practice. But anyway, first impressions, thumbs up. I enjoy it. I think it's going to be a fun carry knife, and looking forward to putting it to some pocket time and to some use. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.